What's up everybody, my name is Bobby and today I got a review for you guys that I'm honestly really excited about. So if you've watched any of my content before, you probably know that I'm really into kind of high quality leather accessories for tech products, whether that be phone cases, bags, laptop cases, all that kind of stuff. And one of my favorite makers that I've been following for a little while now, that I have, a couple of his different items and I've used them in the past, goes by the name of Redeem Creations. So Redeem Creations carries a whole wide array of different products, from wallets to AirTag, holders, and just all sorts of cool stuff. And he recently actually started making iPhone cases, and he's one of the only makers in the whole high quality leather space that I've seen that has ventured into the iPhone case world. And being that that's kind of like the culmination of my two kind of major things that I'm really into is tech accessories and then these high quality leather goods, I was really excited to check it out. And so currently he offers 3 different cases in stock on his website, and they all run for $40. They're made of extremely high quality Horween Dublin leather, which is the same stuff that my wallet is made out of, and it's honestly one of my favorite leathers that you can get personally. And the sheet of leather that you're actually going to get on the case is much thicker than other case manufacturers that make full grain leather cases that are built to patina. Redeem Creations' whole motto is better with age, and I can tell you for a fact that across the board, the products that I've gotten from them is honestly phenomenal, and that lives up to the hype. And so if you're into really high quality leather goods that look better over time, as opposed to, something like a silicone case that's gonna get gross and look disgusting within a few months, I highly recommend that you check his page out. As for what cases are available, you can get one of these cases for the iPhone 13 line, the iPhone 12 line, the iPhone 11 line, and then the iPhone SE, which kind of falls under the iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 category. So he's got a pretty wide range of cases that you can pick up. And the 3 colors that you have to choose between are going to be English tan, brown, and black. My personal favorite is English tan. I think you see the most patina out of it, and it honestly looks phenomenal. That's actually the same color that I had in my Nomad case, my most recent Nomad case that I picked up. And this is only after a couple months of patina, and this thing looks phenomenal. Which is why I've pretty much picked up everything that I have leather-wise in English tan, because it's definitely turned into my favorite color. Now, moving on to the actual case that I got today. So, as much as I love those other 3 colors, he recently posted that he had some shell Cordovan leather, which is honestly the creme de la creme of leather. I've reviewed a shell Cordovan wallet from Ashland Leather previously. I've even started kind of dabbling in making leather goods myself, and I made a wallet out of shell Cordovan. It's honestly my favorite type of leather by a landslide, but it is super expensive and pretty hard to come by, especially shell Cordovan from Horween, which is one of the best tanneries in my opinion. So Redeem had some really awesome shell Cordovan. It was this marble kind of cognac colored shell Cordovan, and he posted on his Instagram that he had a little bit of shell left, and he was wondering if anyone wanted any custom projects or any specific wallets, and to DM him if they were interested. And so I reached out to see if he would be interested in putting some shell Cordovan on one of his iPhone cases, because to my knowledge, there's not one shell Cordovan iPhone case on the market for the iPhone 13. So I haven't been able to find it anywhere. And it's something that if you're into this kind of niche world, getting a shell Cordovan iPhone case that's not, one of those wallet cases, folio type things, or isn't just a sleeve. I'm talking about an actual case that sits on your phone, isn't super bulky, made out of shell Cordovan. That's what he was able to do for me, and he sent it out, and I absolutely love it. So as for the quality of it, I mean, it has that shell Cordovan smell, which is very unique. It smells very different than this particular wallet, which is made by Redeem Creations. This is their collaboration wallet that has a little spot for a pry bar or a thin knife, and then it's a card wallet. This wallet's really awesome, but traditional Horween leather smells very good and very unique, but the shell is completely different. It's also really smooth, really glossy, and it ages really nicely. I just think it's phenomenal. And so he was able to put a piece of that shell on the case itself, and I absolutely love it. So this isn't something that he normally offers, but I mean, if he was able to do it for me, I don't see why not. If he does post on his Instagram that he's doing custom cases or something like that, I would say it's worth giving him a follow, and obviously the link to his website where you can get the normal cases for 40 bucks, and his Instagram where you can keep an eye on, you know, if he does get some more shell and starts doing kind of one-off items again. Really nice dude, really fast shipping. I highly recommend it. As for the case itself, because this is a case review, it's made out of like a soft TPU shell. So I wouldn't say it's like the most protective case in the world, but it's more protective than I think most people need, if that makes sense. So this isn't like an OtterBox where it feels like you have a brick in your pocket. It's very form-fitting. It actually feels way better in my hand than the Nomad case does personally. So if you've watched my reviews of Nomad cases, I love the leather on it, and I love how protective they are. I love that it has MagSafe. I love them, you know, a lot about this case, but the thing that I really dislike the most is how it has this almost like rounded edge to it, because the new iPhones have those flat, you know, squared off bezels all the way across them, and I like the way that that feels in my hand, and that case completely negates that. And so for me, having that squared off edge with this like texturized grip on the side, it feels really nice in the hand. It feels sturdy. It's soft, but it's not like, you know, a rubbery silicone case by any means. It has some like, you know, some rigidness to it. The cutout is plenty big enough for you to get to the volume rocker or plug it in down at the bottom. The buttons, they aren't the clickiest buttons, I'll be honest, but they're not bad. It's not like you have to press it hard or anything like that. They're just like, you know, made into the case itself, and like, you know, they could be clickier, but that's like not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. I also really like how the case itself does have this little ridge around the camera cutout, so that when you set it down on the back of the case, it's not going to scuff it up by any means. And it also has like a nice little raised edge around the outside of it over here, so that when you set your phone face down, it's not going to scratch the screen up. So overall, very nice case. His execution of putting the leather on the actual case itself, it sits completely flush with the actual, you know, case itself. So like a lot of times if someone was to try to create something like this, the actual surface that they, you know, put the leather on is the back of the phone, and it just feels almost like a sticker sitting raised above the actual case itself, and it could get snagged on your pant pocket or just on any fabric or anything along those lines. You would feel where the raised edge is. This is not that. So he was able to find some sort of shell case that allows him to put an insert in and have it sit flush across the back of the case itself. And that honestly is phenomenal in my opinion, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to, you know, see this guy age some more with time. I think it looks beautiful. Honestly, really neat. And minimal branding too. He's just got like his little tree logo right there in the back, and the way he did it too, it's like raised almost. Like, I think that feels really nice. A lot of times leather stamps are like pressed inward. I don't know how he got it like this, but you can like feel the little bump where his logo is, and I like that little texture to it. Now, one of the only gripes that I have with this case is that it is technically not a MagSafe case, so there's no magnet built into the case itself, at least in the iteration that I got. Who knows, maybe he'll get a version of this case down the road that does have the magnet ring built into it, and this problem will be, you know, null and void. But essentially there's no magnet built in it. Now, that's not to say that wireless charging doesn't work with it. So it is thin enough with the layer of leather and with the case itself. When you set it on a MagSafe charger, you will be able to charge your phone with it. MagSafe accessories, it's a very weak connection to it, but it will stay. At least it will just like, you know, sit there, if that makes sense. So like when you have your phone in here and then you put the actual like a MagSafe wallet, for example, it will stay, and you can give it like a little shake like that and it won't fall off. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's not super sturdy on there. Now, I had an idea of a way that you could potentially improve this or add that MagSafe capability to it, because to me, I've said this in the past that, you know, I won't use a case if it doesn't have MagSafe, and pretty much the only thing that could make me eat my words on that particular point is having a Shell Cordovan iPhone case. So my thought was, I got these little Mophie smart adapters right here. And essentially what it is it's like a little ring that you put on the back of a phone, and it adds MagSafe capability to it, essentially. So it's like a magnetic ring that's a really thin little sticker. My thought is I was just gonna stick that right where the MagSafe coil is and then be able to use all my MagSafe accessories. That was my plan with this. Who knows, maybe even like, you know, if you wanted to, you know, in his future versions of the case, you could just add these in between where the leather is and the case itself, and like, you know, it probably costs more because these things aren't super cheap. But just another thought, if you want to have the MagSafe capability in there, that is something that I was planning on doing, so I just figured I would mention it. But yeah, all in all, I love the quality of it. I love the customer service. I love the price point too, especially for, you know, their cases. To get a iPhone case that's $40 made of full grain Horween Dublin leather, that's pretty unheard of in my opinion. And I'll obviously have some pictures on the screen of what those cases look like over time. I highly recommend you check out the dude's page, check out his website. He's got some killer stuff going on there, and if you're into this type of quality leather good, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But yeah, that's been enough for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.